What's going on, you guys? It is your girl Jasana, and I would like to welcome you to my channel. Finally. So without further ado, I know the title brought you to this video, so let's jump right into it. Let's get in this thing. Jasana, why did you lock your hair, or what made you lock your hair? So I can say that when I started 6 years ago, it wasn't as glorified or such a fad like how it is now. But I too was inspired by what I saw. It wasn't because of how pretty it really was truly the nature of locks. Locks to me itself are so beautiful. And I honestly mean that. Like, I mean that wholeheartedly. So growing up, I'm not from Newark, New Jersey. I'm from Paterson, New Jersey, but I spent a few years in Newark, New Jersey. Shout out to Brick City. And anyone who's from there knows that that is just lock central. Everybody has them. But to me, it was something about a woman that had locks, right? When a woman walked into the store and she had locks, you knew, oh, Miss Mama's mean business. And it is just so much emphasis and so much respect there. You treated a woman with locks with delicacy. Like, it's very hard to explain. I just knew that I wanted to wreak that kind of strength. I want my future self at the time. I felt like I wanted my future self to represent strength, to walk into a room and demand attention, to walk into a room and you knew, as a Black woman, I'm a strong Black woman. I'm not to be with. Like, it was all of that for me. And growing up young, I saw a lot, and I knew the things that I didn't want to tap into, and I for sure knew the things that I did want to tap into, that I wanted my future self to be or to represent as a woman, as a Black woman. And it was just, I don't know, it's just something so powerful. And at a young age, I knew that that's what I wanted to represent. I knew very, very young that I want my future self to represent what I'm seeing women represent that have locks, right? So I remember there was this woman who walked into the store, beautiful golden bronze locks all the way down to her back, and she walked past me, and I swear to goodness, I just smelled a whole bottle of cocoa butter. And and I was like, oh, that's it. That is it. It's just something that really, really spoke to me. Like, and I just loved, it's kind of hard to explain. I don't know. It's just something that I knew that I wanted at some point. And I had done everything already. I had my side shaved. I had the quick weaves. I had the bangs. I had the natural hair. I had the braids. I had finger waves. Like, you ask anybody that I went to high school with, I've always just had something crazy going on in terms of my hair. So when I started, I knew that at that point I was ready. And I got some doubts. My mom, even now, I remember, I want to say like a year or two into, she's like, so when you gonna comb them out? And I'm looking at her like, what? I just started. What do you mean? What am I gonna comb? What? And then, they're permanent and stuff like that. I even had people, like, the next day after I came back to school for my appointment, getting my starter locks, my friends were like, okay, Jasana, so what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing with this? What are we doing now? And I told them, I'm like, I'm locking my hair. Like, I'm about to have dreads. Like, this is what we're doing. This is what's next and what's final. So back then it was, I guess it was just me being a product of my environment, but I knew. I was like, oh yeah. You ask anybody that went to high school with me, when I came back to school that day with you little itty bitty starter locks, nobody couldn't tell me nothing. I knew I looked crazy, but nobody couldn't tell me nothing. I was like, watch. They're gonna be nice, watch. I have this quote, it was this caption that I wrote on Instagram a while ago, and I was like, sometimes, honestly, it's not even about patience. It's not about patience at all sometimes. Sometimes it's literally about knowing the future before anyone else does. And all that takes is just confidence, believing in yourself, and knowing that the end goal is greater than the present. And we all striving for that end goal. So that's why I like my hair, y'all, in a nutshell. That took all of 4 minutes and 30 seconds to explain. But I mean, people now on Instagram, we have these images and we have these influences, and things look good, they look pretty. I know my locks look very, very pretty and neat and together right now, but I want y'all to understand the true nature of it is not pretty. You know, sometimes I don't post my hair always being so neat. Sometimes on my Insta story, I'll post, you know, them being more crazy and a mess, because that's the true nature. And honestly, that's what I love. That's what I love. It's easier to love when you have some length, I'm not gonna lie to you, because when they're short, you're like, I want them to be long because this shit look crazy. All right, moving right along.